We're going to be doing a full rebuild on a 2005 Yamaha YFZ450. Got everything we need. You got a brand new cylinder, new piston, new crank, all new bearings. You got a full kibble white valve kit with all new valves and valve springs. So yeah, we're going to get to work on it. I'm going to put on the time lapse, I'm going to pull the engine, and I'm going to get back to you when I got the engine pulled out of it. Alright, so I got the engine out of the frame. I got it back in my apartment. And yeah, we're going to start tearing it down. I'm going to start with the top end first. This is how you loosen your cam chain tensioner. Take this off, then you take a flathead screwdriver, stick it in here, turn it all the way so it stops. Pull it out. You can see now your cam chain's loose. And all these are the same length. Got to worry about mixing them up. And you got to make sure not to lose these retaining clips. You don't want those to drop in your engine or lose them. Take these old lines off. And these all have crush washers on both sides, so to keep track of them. If you got a 6-point box end, that's the best thing you can use for these. Alright, ready to take this head off. A couple light taps. See how it looks. So we suspected that one of these exhaust valves is bent. So that's why we got the full kibble white valve kit. Pull this guide out. Take our cylinder off. This one 8mm. Rest of it's held on by the 4 bolts. It's coming right off, no problem. Looks like the base gasket is fried. We are replacing this cylinder. It does appear to have some wear. You can actually feel it with your finger too. Seeing the top there. The nickel cell is completely worn through. Start by taking this starter off. Yeah, the whole thing comes out. This is a 17mm. I'm going to take the piston off. I actually believe this might be the OEM piston. Alright, I'm going to start on the clutch side. It's like a paper towel holder. Crank rod from banging against your cases. Alright, take this cover off. Start taking our clutch off. Off our counterbalancer here. Keyed a certain way in there. Like that. Oil pump gear. It should not have been that hard. Okay, so that shift shaft was so hard to get out because it's bent. And it's bent bad. And you can tell, you look on the end of there, that sucker is completely crooked. So that's why that was such a struggle to get out. Have the customer order a new one of these, that is for sure. Alright, so we got our flywheel puller. Alright, we got it. We got her off. Make sure not to lose your Woodruff key. Take off our timing chain. You want to make sure you got all your case bolts removed. Double check. So we got our case splitter on. We'll begin to split our cases here. When you're doing this one, just go nice, slow, and easy. Don't force anything. Perfect. Alright, so we got our case split. We got our crankshaft out. So now I'm going to clean up these cases, replace all these bearings, and I'll get back to you when we're putting the new crankshaft in. Alright, so I replaced all the bearings. They're all nice and smooth. While I was at it, I went ahead and took off this screen and cleaned it out. I replaced all the seals around the engine. I replaced this O-ring right here for the oil pickup. Should be good to go. Put the new crank in. My crankshaft's in the freezer. Make sure you got your rod sticking up. Oh, thank God. I went in smooth. So now what I want to do is, I want to make sure I go around all my case edges with some alcohol, some acetone. Just make sure they're really clean. Give that gasket maker a good surface to adhere to. Yeah, just take your time. And you want that rag to come off clean. So I've really gone through and I've cleaned the edges really well. Now I'm going to come along, I'm going to put a light coat of the Yamaha number 4 around both sides of the cases. I'm just going to use my finger to apply it. Make sure to wash your hands. Got a good even coat on both of our cases. Ready to get these case halves back together. So we got our crank puller on. We're going to go ahead and put our cases back together. With this you want to just go slow and easy. Alright, so we got the cases back together. Got that brand new Hot Rods crank in there. A little protector back on. Clean all of our hardware. A little bit of alcohol. I'm going to use the blue Loctite on this one. This is torqued down to 22 foot-pounds. So this is 7.5 foot-pounds. Let's move it along with our shift drum. I went ahead and installed shifter mechanism here. The same thing, we're going to put some Loctite on these. And we got a brand new OEM shift shaft. Go ahead and put some assembly lube on this. It's brand new. This one should just slide right in. Shouldn't give us any problems like the other one did. Oil pump here. Meshes in with that. Same thing, put a little assembly lube on it. You can see that this dot right here, which is what aligns our counterbalancer in time, goes on the flat spot on the crank. Just like that. Go ahead and put in my counterbalancer. This is keyed in. Gotta make sure to align that dot with this dot on the gear so that your counterbalancer will be in time. So we go just like that. Our two dots are aligned. So that means our counterbalancer will be in time. We're gonna go to 36 foot-pounds. 56 foot-pounds. There we go, got it. Time to put this clutch basket on. It's 43 3 foot-pounds. First thing, that's our jetter spring. You can see it says outside, so this is the way it goes out. Push her out of here, slide that in, ball. So with the clutch plates, you'll notice that one of the plates is thinner than the rest of them. And that thinnest plate goes first on the basket. It's important to get that right for your clutch to work right. Just down to 6 foot-pounds. Slip on there, just like that. What I like to do is take just a little bit of grease, just grease the gasket. Perfect. For all these case bolts, just take a light dab of never sees on each one. Clutch side completely finished up. Now we're on to our stator side. We got a brand new timing chain. Guide. A little dab of blue Loctite on these. Just torque these down to 7.2 foot-pounds. Put in our woodruff key. I got the flywheel nut torqued down. We got this gear. Raised portion goes towards the motor. We're ready to put on our cover. Same thing, just be careful with your gasket. This is probably try to magnetize on, yep. Alright, we got our cover all torqued down. Assembly lube on this for sure. This should just slip in like this. The cover just goes right here on top. Install our starter here. Definitely put some never sees on these. I got our whole bottom end done. Time to move on to the top end. We're going to move on to our top end. I've already checked all my ring gaps. They're all in spec with their new cylinder. Some assembly lube on our wrist pin. Doing this, you're going to take a rag in the bottom end. So if your circlip flies out, it doesn't fly on your bottom end. Make sure that's seated. Double check your rings are still where you want them. End gaps are in the correct location. We go ahead and slip our cylinder on. Alright, we got just a very light coat of oil in our cylinder. We got our cylinder put on. Alright, so we're going to move on to the head now. The customer got a full kibble white valve kit. So we got all new intake and exhaust valves and new valve springs and buckets. So yeah, so I'm going to put on the time lapse, take all the valves out, and I'll get back to you once I got them all out. Alright, so we got all of our valves out of our head, and I've already cleaned it up. Came out pretty good. Now I'm going to lap all the new kibble white valves in. Install the new seats, put the new springs, the new guides, and yeah, then we'll get this back together. Alright, so we got all the kibble white valves put in place, all lapped up with all new seals and springs. It all looks really nice. Go ahead and get this freshly rebuilt head put on. Base gasket. So we got these upgraded aftermarket head bolts, and it's kind of a weird way you do it. So you're going to torque it to 22 foot-pounds, then we're going to loosen them all, then we're going to torque it to 14 foot-pounds, and then go 180 degrees. And I'm just going to use some assembly lube on all the threads. Got 22 foot-pounds. I'm going to go back through and loosen them all in the same pattern. We're going to go to 14 foot-pounds. We're going to go 180 degrees. Luckily my torque wrench reads degrees. Got them all to 180 degrees. After you do that, you want to tighten down these. Alright, we're going to get our cams in. Alright, so we got the engine all put back together. Should be all good to go. And yeah, we're going to throw it back in the bike. I'll get back to you. Got the motor in the frame. Got it all wired up, all good to go. I did install a couple other things. We got the Boyson supercooler and Boyson clutch cover. I also went ahead and I put a new carrier in the back. The old one was completely blown out. So I've already done the break-in oil change. It's got about 2 hours on the engine total so far. I did the break-in oil change at 1. And yeah, it's been running really good. Starts right up every time. That was a cold start. Yeah, we're gonna go for a little ride. So this bike also has the Electron carb. She's plenty warmed up. Like I said, she's broken in. A nice little ride. She's a ripper. She's a ripper. Definitely doesn't mean drifts. More pulls. Oh yeah. Got some power. I think that's going to do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the whole rebuild series. It's definitely a lot of work, a lot of fun. And yeah, we definitely got it running right. Runs really good, that's for sure. Well yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.